What is happening? Happy Wednesday. Man, it's White Woman Wednesday, and we got so many white women. They're phenomenal. Our girl Kylie is all over it. We got One Hit Wonder Wednesday, which is going to be delicious. I am pumped, man. What a day of fun and frivolity. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff here on The Magic Show today. It's funny, yesterday I was asking Ken, I was like, hey, you got your... So he's like, I already got my song. And Belle's got a song, and it's the kind of song you would think, too. Because he started playing it for me, and I'm like, no, I have no idea. And I've got a song for you guys today that is spectacular. Just want you to know that it is awesome. Plus, we're going to get to a whole bunch of stuff, including the healthcare debate, which needs to happen in this country. And I'm going to say something that, much like yesterday with Laura Loomer and her insanity, where I agree with her about not pardoning, Ghislaine Maxwell or anybody or Diddy. I also have to say that, you know what? I find myself, oddly enough, agreeing more and more times with Marjorie Taylor Greene. I feel like she's matured enough that she's left a lot of that kookiness out there and is trying to build a path for herself in a normal way. So we'll talk about that. Ken, I have a bone to pick with the weather guy. I walked outside today, and I have to be honest, I was a little chilly. I was not expecting it to be chilly on my walk to work. I was like, what the hell is this?
And just turn the heat on.
I was walking, and I didn't bring a jacket. I mean, it wasn't freezing, but I expected 80 degrees with some humidity. I got like 64 with a bit of breeze.
Yeah, those showers that moved through yesterday cooled it off.
Yeah, well, I don't know who you people think you are. Are we open at the airport? Is that happening today? Or are we going to keep it?
Everything's back to normal.
Back to normal, baby. Back to normal. I like it. That's what we need. I know Burbank is still a mess. They're closing like one tower here. They're worried about Dallas. Once Dallas and Atlanta get sideways, man, everything goes sideways because they're such massive hubs. So that's good that they're getting back to normal. I mean, they may not get paid, but...
It'll happen somewhere else.
Yeah, well, and like, Chris and I were saying, man, you know this, dude. You miss, even if it's your plane lands fine, which is always a good start to your next journey, and you think, okay, cool, we're not even getting off this plane. But then you find out that the pilots and the crew that were supposed to be there moving this plane somewhere else where they were going to, they don't arrive. That domino goes so fast. And this is the first time that we have kind of, I've heard people say, ooh, this isn't a good look for anybody. But nobody's taken the blame yet. That's the most important thing in this. So I just found out I'm like fungus. Did you know that? I'm like fungus, everybody. I grow on people. It's the white woman wins. Dude, I got so much. Ken, I have to stop. I had so much white woman stuff. I was telling Belle that like now all of my feed is just liberal white women screaming about stuff.
Are they wearing shirts?
Not always. Our girl Kylie has several provocative photos. Just putting that out there. She's a progressive with some provocative photos. Letting you guys know that. Letting you know that. So, and that the thing that Belle sent me, the fact that anybody would be excited for this. So he goes, Chad, you got to look at this article. I said, let me see it. It is a 126-year-old fossil. And what it did and how excited people got for this. I thought to myself, you went to school to get excited for this? We're going to talk about that, too. Some Israel stuff as well, and immigration. And obviously the whatever's going on. And I just saw that Trump called for...
Did you mean 126 million? Because you said 126,000.
126,000. That's what it says, not million.
Oh, okay. Well, you said 126.
Yeah, so, well, even then it would be weird, right? Like, even at that point, it would be weird when you guys hear this. The whole, like, Trump calling for these guys to be jailed, and then they're like, he's full of dementia, and Johnson, the mayor of Chicago's like, he hates black people. It's like, what are you people doing? You're LARPing around, whining about crap. Do your jobs. Do your jobs. How about that? Just do the job. It's all you got to do. And your job is not to suck as bad as Lori Lightfoot, not to be arrested and put in jail like most of the governors from Illinois. Remember when there was like 3 of 4 governors were in jail for Illinois? That's the most corrupt in the world. Or at least our world was Illinois. Always been the most. That's the reason they call it the Windy City. It's not because of wind. It's Chicago. It's because of politics. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. And just a bunch of other crazy stuff today, man. I'm pumped. I'm pumped, baby. Let's do this. Hey, did you see Trump in his TikTok? It was, how you doing? It's me. Hello, young people. That's what he said. Please. I saved TikTok, so you got to do something for me. That's so awesome. But all kidding aside, I say this, right? You know, everybody gets like, Chad, you need to pick a lane. No, my lane is Americans. That's my lane. I care about us. I don't care about politicians. I don't care about parties. I care about what's best for America. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, who, like I said, it's weird that I would even say that in any way, shape, or form that I have some sort of agreement, because let's be honest, in the past, she has said some stuff that's crazy. I think we can all understand that. But she's talking about something that is absolutely so important, and that is healthcare. And I mean the importance and the cost of healthcare, how ridiculously unaffordable life is becoming for many of you, because I hear it every single day. I do. And she is breaking away from, the right or whatever, because her kids said, look, Mom, I can't afford any of this. I can't afford healthcare. I can't afford to pay for any of this stuff. And she's been talking about this for a bit, and I've been saying it for a long time. I don't like Obamacare. I was totally against Obamacare. I said from the beginning, it was always meant to be a law. It was meant to withstand challenges in court. It was never meant to be health care. It's never meant to be the relationship between you and your doctor. It was meant to be, how can they protect themselves, the insurance companies, and they got a great way to do it. They help sculpt the law. They help write the law. But the subsidies going away, the cost is going to be insane. And when things are going up and away, remember, at the end of the day, it's the economy, stupid. It's affordability, stupid. And if people can't afford stuff, they're going to think, boy, this is stupid.
Well, if you follow my post, health insurance is something I've been talking about for quite a while. Insurance across the board, it's crushing people. The cost of living is gone so high in the past 4.5 years, and it hasn't come down. Rent is unaffordable. You can't buy a home. A lot of people don't even know if they'll ever be able to buy a home. But insurance premiums are unbelievably high.
Up and to the right.
Yep, and they're looking to go up. Not only people on the ACA, but people that have private plans as well. This is the #1 issue I hear about in my district. I work for Georgia's 14th district, and so I'm willing to take off team jerseys, so to speak, right now and call it literally like it is. This is a crisis in America, and I really want to work on it.
So Trump apparently is looking at this because he's starting to understand if stuff goes up too much and you're starting to have to make serious decisions about, keeping your lights on, paying rent, or paying for insurance, that is not a good place to be. That is not what people say. They didn't vote for that. And just to give you guys an idea, because a lot of people out there are going, oh, well, you know what? You should have insurance for your work. Not everybody does. And by the way, that's going up 20% on average. So I had a couple different things, do a breakdown, and my buddy sent me some stuff, and he's a big insurance, nerd. And so the average, if we're looking at medium price, the average income, median income here, anywhere between, $80,000 to about $90,000. That's family of 4. That's kind of what they broke it down to. When you start breaking down how many people are here in Tennessee are on Obamacare, ACA, you start looking at this, it's like, okay, 600,000 people. Okay. And there's another I don't know how many are on healthcare through their work, but we're just looking at this right here. So with subsidies, depending on what you pick, right? Like what I picked? I picked the silver plan, the premium plan, the gold, whatever the hell that they've got. You're looking at a situation where you're seeing some pay, depending, again, 46 to 150 bucks, sometimes 200 bucks a month, sometimes a little bit more. When you go to get up to the premium plans, you're seeing, you may be paying $400 a month or so, but that's all with the subsidies. You start taking those out, and you're seeing your insurance rise anywhere between $6,000 and $15,000 a year. That's not a winning hand. And as much as I hate Obamacare, and it didn't solve, and it never got cheaper, until you figure out what you're going to do to replace it, because you can't just tell everybody, just deal with it. Eventually, maybe the market will take care of itself. Well, why would the market take care of yourself? Because people are still going to have to try to figure out how to get health care. So, and everybody's like, why not go across state lines? Well, too many By the way, they offered the opportunity for most states to have a secondary state they work with so they can go across state lines. Nobody took them up. Too many regulations. They're worried too much about cherry picking. So I would say, okay, I can pick. Well, I'm only going to pick the healthy people from this state, right? I'm not going to pick the healthy people, the unhealthy people. So they were worried that it was going to be one of those things where you would have certain groups that had everybody who was 160 pounds and fit, and this other group was stuck with people who are, nutritional overachievers. So that wasn't going to work. Too many regulations from state to state. So we're stuck in this situation that we currently find ourselves in. And the Republicans whined and moaned for years about Obamacare. And they did all those phony votes, knowing full well that it would pass and it would just die on Obama's desk. Well, you got a chance to figure something out. You would do it. But if you yank the carpet out from underneath everybody, what you're going to find, it's still about winning elections. And they're going to say, you're the one who got rid of the subsidies. And because of that, we're going to hold you responsible. People are frustrated. I get it. Man, I get it. And we're not even talking about people like me over the last couple of years who's had to pay so much money, it's almost embarrassing for healthcare. Like, I could afford through my what would be a mortgage payment, a $750,000 home for my healthcare. That's how much I was having to pay. And we've rarely used it. And it was so, the deductibles were so ridiculous. It was cheaper for us to pay cash for any prescription than it was just to even try to go through the other part. So there needs to be a fix. And she's talking about it. And that's a good thing. And if I'm the Republicans, I am all over it. Because if you look heartless and like, oh, we're going to let these things die and we don't care, people, remember what happened when they were close to getting rid of Obamacare, how much people freaked out about that. Just like what they do with TikTok. They start losing their mind. It's the same thing with this. So we'll talk a bit more about this. White Woman Wednesday. That was enough seriousness. Let's get to White Woman Wednesday. We got some good white women stuff. She was on a roll today. She was spectacular. She did like 7 videos in the space of like 2 hours. That is amazing. That really is. I didn't know there was that much inequity and evil in the world. But luckily, our girl from Brown shows us. Also, now, Ken, you've got your one-hit wonder, right? Ken's got his one-hit wonder. You got your one-hit wonder?
I got it.
Bell's got his. I've got mine. I'm pumped about mine today. It's awesome. It is so bad it's good. That's how much you guys are going to love it.
Yeah, a listener gave me a great one.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really? Because Bell and I were going over. He's like, you like the 80s, Chad. Bell likes the obscure 70s, and you like hair metal.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of who we are. That's who we are as a team. If you're missing the show, shame on you. Grab the podcast. White Woman Wednesday, straight ahead. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997. All right, guys, chapter, Medicare plans. We're just talking about all this stuff. Crazy, right? You never know what's going to happen. You never know what's the in thing out there. Some people love their plan, but guess what? That thing's going to go away, and you don't even know it. So why not get a look underneath the hood? Just talk to my friends over at Chapter. They're going to help you out. They're going to show you all the things. They don't work for insurance companies, none of that stuff. There's no gimmicks, no pressure, just honest advice from experts who know Medicare inside out. So what you do is you dial pound 250 and say keyword Medicare plan, and they'll show you a gazillion different plans, right? So they don't work for the government. They don't work for insurance companies. It's about saving you money. And on average, they save seniors about $1,100 a year. That's what's great about working for Chapter. And here's the other thing. You're going to get all of these, and everything's free for you, review for all of these plans in under 20 minutes. So you'll know what the best plan is for you. You're not going to be pushed into anything. No gimmicks, no pressure, just on advice from my friends over at Chapter. So this is what I want to do. I want you to work with Chapter. They're a partner of mine. Go to the phone, pick it up, turn it on, dial pound 250 and say Medicare plan. It's that simple. Pound 250 Medicare plan for our friends over at Chapter.
All right, drivers in Berry Hill, we've got a crash. It is blocking the right exit lane, 440 eastbound before I-65. And we got more on that breaking news out of L.A., an arrest of a man for the Palisades fire. That's coming up at 12:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
An arrest, huh? For the Palisades fire.
Finally found someone.
You know, you should arrest the state officials who didn't turn the water on. How about that, too? I want to see what that arrest looks like. Because that is still not building anything, by the way. I know they're cutting the red tape, but they have to cut the red tape to cut the red tape to cut the red tape. So be prepared. I think they've issued like 2 permits.
Just for, and that's for 2 structures?
2 structures. My buddy's...
I mean, is anybody moving back there?
No. My buddy's, he was in Mexico for like 6 months, and now he's back. Now he's in Orange County. And he's like, we're never going to move back. My kids, it was like their 10th or 11th grade year. He goes, they're never moving back. They're never going to see their friends like that again. They're never going to play. That's it. It's over. Their life has changed. And it's not coming back anytime soon. Nobody's going to be moving back there. And that's, the government, if it was up to them, they'd love it. California. White Woman Wednesday, we love her. Her name is Kylie. She's great. She went to Brown. That is according to my friend Belle. And ladies, don't fall for the alt-right, super conservative propaganda.
Hi, I'm Kylie, and here are 4 types of conservative propaganda marketed towards women. A lot of people talk about the alt-right pipeline for men, but it can be just as dangerous for women. Number 1, clean girl aesthetic. There is nothing inherently clean or dirty about dressing in certain ways. It's normal to have acne in your 20s, to go out and be feral and meet people. You aren't better than other women because you stay home. If you want to stay home, do it. Number 2, Nara Smith. Yeah, while it's cute to see how she cooks for her children and all the homemade stuff she makes, it ultimately is trad wife content. And Nara Smith is not a trad wife. She probably makes millions of dollars a year from her content. She is employed, in addition to being a wife and a mother, so don't let that fool you. Number 3, holistic health and wellness. No, you can't heal measles with chicken soup. You need vaccine. These types of videos often seem harmless, but quickly lead into anti-vax content, and that is very dangerous for everybody. Number 4, high-value woman content. To say high value often means that you're saying that some women are worth more inherently than others, which just isn't true, because all women are beautiful and amazing.
No, they're not. I've seen some women that are not beautiful and or amazing. Just like I've seen men that way. And I think we know that that's true. So don't fall for that, ladies. If that's you guys, do not fall for any of that stuff. Don't be a trad wife, which is a traditional wife, where you stay at home and you cook and you clean. Don't do that at all. That's bad. Unless, of course, you can make millions doing it. Then do it. You got to watch out, man. You're going to get this conservative mind melt. She is so awesome. She is. And I'm thinking to myself, how do you think of this? Like, do you just troll right-leaning TikTok? If that's, that's probably there. I don't know. Do you go to right-leaning Instagram? I don't know. To find, like, to where you come up with this anger or, stuff. But ladies, don't fall for this conservative wackiness. I don't know too many. I know some conservative women. I don't know any trad wives. I mean, I guess people say my wife's a trad wife, but not like the ones you see, right? On the ones you see that are all dressed like it's the 50s, right? And their husband comes home, they give him a smoking jacket. Yeah, that's not real. My wife looks at me and she's like, your daughter's driving me crazy. Well, I'm like, it happens to be your daughter as well. So sounds like driving everybody crazy. So yeah, but she's just a traditional wife. But the trad, everything has to have a saying nowadays. Trad wife. Like I was telling Belle yesterday. So if you guys see me, if you're not looking on the YouTube, I'm holding up my my drink, which it's First Form Energy. I like it. But I was telling him that one of the urban words I learned, this is a refrigerator cigarette. The energy drink is a fridge cigarette. So instead of getting that hit of caffeine, you get a hit of this. It's a fridge cigarette. Just to let you guys know. See, now you learned something new today. Later on, we'll teach you 6-7. If you don't know what that is, that's like the biggest thing that the kids are doing. Some of you are going, my kids say that. I'll tell you what it is. One Hit Wonder Wednesday, straight ahead. Tons of stuff still to get to, including somebody apparently arrested in California for the fire. Not from California. Florida man, I'm looking at you. If you're missing the show, shame on you. Grab the podcast. One Hit Wonder Wednesday, straight ahead. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Again, drivers got a crash in Berry Hill. It is blocking the right exit lane, 440 eastbound before 65. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Breaking news out of Los Angeles, major development in the Palisades fire investigation.
We are announcing the arrest of 29-year-old Jonathan Rinderknecht for igniting a fire that ultimately burned down the Palisades earlier this year, killing 12 people, destroying more than 6,800 structures, both homes and businesses, and damaging over 1,000 more buildings.
That's acting U.S. Attorney for the Central District of California, Bill Assail.
The complaint unsealed today charges the defendant with destruction of property by means of fire, a felony that carries a mandatory minimum 5-year federal prison sentence and is punishable by up to 20 years in federal prison.
Rinderknecht, who worked as an Uber driver, expected to make a brief court appearance in Orlando today. Claims that a hair loss pill might be linked to suicide. This out of the New York Post, doing a story about a new study published in the Journal of Clinical Psychiatry that claims to link the drug finasteride, sold under the brand name Propecia, to depression, anxiety, and even suicidal thoughts in some users. Merck, the original maker of the drug, says there's no proven link to suicide. And former FBI Director James Comey has pleaded not guilty in a court in Alexandria, Virginia today. Comey indicted on charges of lying to a Senate committee in 2020. Former prosecutors where Comey was indicted had said there was no evidence to bring charges, but President Trump fired the U.S. attorney in charge, replaced him with Lindsey Halligan. Halligan, along with the prosecutor in North Carolina, were in court today. Here's Karen Travers.
He replaced the U.S. attorney who had been investigating Comey and put in place his former personal attorney, who then sought this indictment against James Comey. Now, the president has insisted to ABC News and other reporters that this is not about political retribution. He has said this is about justice, and that is why this indictment was sought against former FBI Director Comey. But the president has also said that he would like to see others prosecuted as well.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
So a chilly start on Friday, the afternoon with good sunshine. We're still in the 70s. We'll be back near 80 by the weekend.
All right, guys. For $12, where can you get your back? The Wellness Institute of Nashville. Go to painisbad.com. Now, they've got the Big Daddy Trump special going on right now. $12. Comprehensive exam, x-rays if needed. They're going to explain their diagnosis and first treatment. Think about that. $12. You can't get lunch for that, and you're going to get your back. You're going to get feeling better than ever before after you probably have given up hope. And I don't care what it is. I don't care if you've got issues with your sciatica, slip bulging spinal disc, herniated disc, stenosis, numbness or weakness in arms and legs, you name it, they can help. Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley are incredible. No surgery, no spinal injections, no painkillers. The brilliance of them and the technology they have, they're ready for you. It's just $12 to get started. You're going to get a full exam. You're going to get those x-rays. You can bring your MRI if you want. They're going to explain the diagnosis and get you your first treatment. Check out painisbad.com or call 615-246-5009. You may have given up in the past. Don't do it. The Wellness Institute of Nashville is there to help. 615-246-5009 or painisbad.com. All right, Beacon Capital Management wants to help you in times like this where there's going to be some tax questions. They're there to help. You probably don't know the one big, beautiful bill, very big, has a lot of things in there that you can take advantage of, from car loan deductions as far as interest to if you're a senior, you're 65 or older, you can be eligible for additional senior deduction up to $1,000. Now, all of these things phase out, so you got to take advantage of them now. That's what they're there for. But they do everything and then some, whether it is healthcare, whether it is something where you may need long-term healthcare. Maybe you need to talk about dollars and cents. They do everything. It's the beauty of what Beacon does. But why not call them, find out what they can do for you? Because it may not be one thing. You may need all these things, whether it's your retirement and making sure it sticks around and grows, or long-term health care and things of that nature, which a lot of people don't like to talk about. But they're going to make it easy for you. That's why we love Beacon. Call 615-488-9303. 615-488-9303. Get a free personalized financial consultation now with Beacon. 615-488-9303 or beaconcm.com. This is a paid placement. Bow. Bow. It is Wednesday. I love Wednesday, baby. We get over that hump. We also get to do fun things, like talk about One Hit Wonder Wednesday. I love One Hit Wonder Wednesday. In fact, the night before I start putting stuff together, I get so excited about One Hit Wonder Wednesday. And for me, today was quite a special one. But this is where we talk about that one hit. It was here, and in some cases, it stuck around. In other cases, much like the artist, it disappeared forever. Oh, but it does make us smile. By the way, when we talk about much like the artist, it disappears forever, usually we're talking about whatever Bell picks, okay? Ken and I pick awesome stuff. Let's do it.
Now it's time for another edition of One Hit Wonder Wednesday. You may not remember the name of the band, but you definitely know the song. This is One Hit Wonder Wednesday.
All right. Bell knows a lot about music. That's why we joke about that, because Bell can go deep in places that you're just like, I have no idea. And damn it, these things are big hits sometimes at the day.
Brother Bilal lived the life.
He does. You know, that's what I always tell everybody. Like, the amount of knowledge, you and I will joke around, Bell's knowledge of music is ridiculous.
Yes.
It's as long as his hair. So it's awesome. And he picks sometimes, some of this, like the David Geddes thing, to this day is just amazing.
Geddes.
Whatever his name was.
Number 4.
Yeah, number 4. We know that, right? But last week you did fail because you're like, oh, here's Human League. They only had like 8 hits, but whatever, because he's unfamiliar with the number 1. Let's hear yours today, brother. You got one. Never heard of the person.
That's not my fault.
It is, though.
All right, number 1 from 1974, and as the title says, one hit wonder, one and done. Andy Kim and Rock Me Gently.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard that song.
Number 1 for 1 week in 1974 in September.
Yes, sir.
All right. I've heard that song before. I'm not going to lie to you. I've heard that song. Somebody else did it too, right? I think.
Yes, it's been covered by.
Yeah. See, I haven't heard that version, but I've heard another version of it. And yeah, okay. I like that one. All right. All right. That's One Hit Wonder Wednesday. Andy Kim? Sounds like a made up name.
Andy Kim.
Andy Kim, right there.
Andy Kim.
Andy, the great Andy Kims. No Andy Gibb, but he's close. All right, let's see what you got, Ken.
All right, I got to say a big thank you to listener Robert Catalona who sent me this. This is the Buoys, Timothy. I think he was eaten. This is the Buoys' only major chart success. 1971 single Timothy. It reached number 17 on the Billboard Hot 100. The song written by Rupert Holmes.
Oh, love.
Famous for Escape the Pina Colada song.
If you like pina colada. You ever seen that video? It's like, why is my history teacher singing a song?
It makes Christopher Cross his videos look like
yeah.
they're
Yeah.
high art.
It's awesome. The Buoys? Oh.
This song gained notoriety due to its controversial
Somebody ate Timmy, and he was great. Yeah.
Hey, it's not just after a plane crash in the Andes that you have to resort to difficult decisions.
All right. Well, true. All right. My one-hit wonder. So and we'll start it next week, but I do a countdown on my national show, the 20 greatest horror movies of all time. And we'll start breaking it down next week, and we'll start counting it down from 10 to 1. But my one-hit wonder today happened to have something to do with my scary movie number 18 on my list. That movie was American Werewolf in London, and it starred a guy by the name of David Naughton. And David Naughton was famous for a few things. First of all, before that movie, and before even his hit, he was known as the Dr. Pepper guy. Be a pepper, be Dr. Pepper. So he became kind of a big deal with that. Then they gave him a TV show, and they said, what's the name of your TV show going to be? Because it was the late 70s, heading into the early 80s. And they said, it's going to be called Making It. Oh, disco, baby. Feels like something Dr. Johnny Fever would have spun. Making It. This time, the time I'm taking it. Oh, no. Oh, no. So the song lasted way longer than the actual show, which went for 5 episodes before they blew it out.
They only made it to 5?
They made it to 5 episodes. They blew it out. And this ended up being on the charts for 17 weeks. And they say, essentially, this was supposedly the last disco hit of the 70s. There was nothing really after this. And it went on also to have a second run because it was in the movie Meatballs. Remember Meatballs with Bill Murray? Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, so it was in the movie Meatballs. It's been in a couple other things, but he still talks about it to this day because he's a triple threat. He was classically trained, and he did the Dr. Pepper commercials. And he said the Dr. Pepper commercials helped him land this, which helped him land American Werewolf in London, which is, if you guys have never seen American Werewolf in London, it's brilliant.
Yeah, the special effects at the time were groundbreaking.
Griffin Dunn starred as Jack, and he starred as David, obviously, David Naughton, because he's like, that's why I got the part. It was written and directed by John Landis, who wrote it at age 20. And he had already done the Blues Brothers and Animal House. And he said when he met Rick Baker, who was the guy who created the amazing, incredible special effects, he said, well, how do you want your the werewolf to be? And he said, I don't care. I just want him to be big and mean, and I want him to be on all fours. I don't want him to be bipedal. But he said, the only thing, though, that must happen, the transformation must be painful and terrifying. It can't be him sitting in a chair and then he becomes a wolf. And that's what, you see the hand start to, that was also the first year they have special effects and makeup. And Rick Baker won that for that movie. And he said, David Naughton, 10 hours in the suit every day for weeks. So when you see his eyes in the thing where they're all red and horrible, he said it's because they had like the glue and everything. He said that poor guy was a mess. Yeah.
And Landis went on to kill 3 people in Twilight Zone.
He did. He killed, was it Vic Morrow?
Vic Morrow and 2 children.
Yeah, because you shouldn't fly a helicopter indoors is what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, by the way, I forgot. Yeah, that's right. Kiss, the biop Detroit Rock City, Making It is in it as well. Oh, David Naughton. Somebody said, I have that 45. Ooh.
And somebody just went, what's a 45?
That's right. What's a 45? What's a 45? Is that a gun? Hey, speaking of 45s and also, do we have any news on the Taylor Swift stolen autographs? Did you hear why she said she did, because everybody said she wouldn't do the Super Bowl halftime. Did you hear why? She came out. She was on TV the other night. She said, look, people think it's that I want to keep everything. She goes, none of that was true. She goes, I'm going to tell you guys this right now. I didn't think I'd like football. I love football. But my man plays football. And he's a gladiator. He's on the field. And if he's going to be out there and he's going to be doing that stuff, I am not going to be able to pay attention and care about the halftime show.
You know what I call that?
Cop out.
A deflective excuse.
Oh, look at me. Belle is always thinking the worst of her. Always. The buoys, man. That is the creepiest song. Now that I know what it is. Yeah. Like, yeah. Well, yes, that's gross. The buoys. Well, he must have been. Was he a little fella? What year was that? 1. All right, the Buoys. They're an American band, not to be confused with the Australian punk rock band, the Timothys. It got banned in several countries. So this was based on the Shepparton, Pennsylvania mining disaster in 1963, just outside Hazleton, Pennsylvania. So, do they really eat people?
Why would you not?
Well, did they imply it, or did they go, there were 12 of you and only 8 of you survived, and some of you put weight on and you've been down there for 3 weeks? The shepherd.
Next you're going to start telling me that songs imply sex and stuff.
Maybe. Let's see here. There was a storm. Okay, so 3 miners trapped underground cave. Only 2 of them survived the cave, which gave the cave in, which gave the buoys Rupert Holmes and we actually saw an article. That's what he wrote of, and he said it was implied by some people in the media that there was 3 of them could have made it, but maybe they drew land of the what is it, because law of the sea. If you guys don't know what that is, you have a right to draw straws and murder somebody and eat them if that's the only way that you can survive. And they've tried, I think they tried it a few years ago and they threw it out of court because they said, no, that's the law of the sea. It's understood that there's that. And that's what some people applied, that those 2 guys had a snack. That's tough.
No mayonnaise.
Yeah, no mayonnaise, man. Jinx! By the way, mayonnaise makes... How great would a commercial be? Hey, you guys might remember us from the cave-in, and you know what would have been better when we ate Timothy? Mayonnaise. What goes great with upper thigh? Mayonnaise. That is so awesome. Oh, my Lord. Cannibalism. It's what's for dinner. Coming up, we got more White Girl Wednesday, because you know what? Why not? This time, she's going to lecture us in, I've got 10 of them. I'm going to go with, this one, jokes. She's going to lecture us with jokes. So be prepared. White Girl Wednesday, straight ahead. Chad Benson, Super Talk 997. Prize Picks. Now's your time to pick. It's simple. It's easy to do. You're picking players and their projected stats, more or less, rather than teams. Whether it's football, hockey's back, baby, baseball, and the playoffs going on, basketball, soccer, you name it. But football, here's a perfect way you set up a lineup, 2 or more picks. Jalen Hurts, do you think tomorrow he's going to pass for more than half a touchdown? Jackson Dart, will he rush for more than half a touchdown? There you go. It's that simple. That's the way you pick a lineup, and away you go. Now, when you do your first $5 lineup, $50 instantly into your account for more lineups. It's that simple, and it is awesome. So take advantage of this. Prize Picks, 2 or more. You will enjoy it. It's easy to do. And you already know sports, baby. You love it. So you know players. It's more or less. It's that simple. Download the app today. Use code CHAD. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CHAD to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be 21 in Tennessee. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-889-9789.
Some fans were worried, but Dolly says, I ain't dead yet. Details coming up at 1 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
She's one of the white women we like, by the way.
Love her.
Love Dolly. National treasure.
I'm telling you, dude, I would pass right out in her presence.
Would you?
If she was walking to a room where I am, I think I'd pass right out.
And she would be flattered by it, too.
She'd probably get mad at me.
No, I don't think so. Well, she'd probably say, Ken, you don't have to do that, sugar.
She'd say, who is this fat boy?
Who's this little guy?
Who's this little fella? But yeah, I'm telling you, man, if I was ever somewhere and she came in the room, dude, I'd pass right out.
I feel like, and I want this to be true, no matter where you meet her, she is as genuine and as real as it gets.
That's what I hear.
You know, some people are like that. Some people, and then some people you just don't want to know.
Right.
But some people, they're like that. And you know, so don't meet your heroes. But she's one of those ones where I think no matter where you are, she is going to just be as kind and as sweet and as real because it's not a show. It's just who she is, how she was raised. Speaking of how you were raised, white people, I want you to understand something. Your racist jokes aren't funny.
Talk about how in white social circles, when you're not racist, you get called boring. Obviously, not all white people, but a lot of conservative people who find this type of humor funny. Like any joke that's based off of a characteristic that you can't control. So making fun of somebody's gender, sexuality, race, etc. And suddenly when you're like, hey, I don't think this is funny nor creative, I'm gonna put some of the jokes on the screen that are pretty commonly used, then suddenly you're boring. Suddenly you don't know how to have fun. Have you ever considered the possibility that you're just not funny?
Nope.
That you're just repeating jokes that have been used for decades? And that any joke that makes race a punchline genuinely is just not clever enough to warrant a laugh. And whenever you stand up to these people in these social circles, they will call you a liberal, boring, or too woke. I grew up around a lot of people like this because a lot of my friends' parents were like this. There are a lot more conservative people in California than most people realize. But no, your racist joke isn't funny. And yes, I have a sense of humor. That's just not funny.
Now, I have yet to see her sense of humor. I'm sure she has one. Kind of like, Lenin had a sense of humor in Russia. Do you know that Lenin, there's a great book out about who he is, not John Lennon, but that he hated laughter and humor. He absolutely they said he was the most unfunny, did not care about, he was like, everything was serious. Don't be that way. It's not good for you. And she knows funny. She reminds me of, what's his name? Bruno Kirby from Good Morning Vietnam. I know humor. I'm funny. That was funny. Yeah, no. And the racist, not every joke is racist. And sometimes, let's be real, there are people out there that say stuff and you're like, I shouldn't laugh at that, but I'm going to. Not me. I'm not that way because I'm learning. Ken and I do the work. Belle, not so much. Ken and I absolutely do the work. Several of you are chiming in. Next hour, we're going to get into the healthcare thing because we got to figure some stuff out when it comes to healthcare. And a lot of you have been sending me how much your health care is now, even with Obamacare. And the thought that it's going to go up, potentially double. Are you going to be able to afford that? Want to hear from you? Text the line. Love hearing from each and every one of you. You can also tweet at us, at Chad Benson Show. We've got that coming up. We've got we'll talk a little bit about Comey. We're also going to talk about what's really going on in Chicago and Portland because it's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. We'll talk a little bit about that as well and a bunch of other good stuff, kids. We'll also find out if the airport's open. And the primary last night, who won? Was it me? No. But you know what? I may have come in third. I don't know. And it didn't cost me anything to do that. If you missed any of the show, shame! Shame! Chad Benson Show, Super Talk, 997.
One o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. And right now in Tennessee, some fans were worried after a heartfelt social media post from Dolly Parton's sister Frida asking for prayers. But Dolly is now clearing the air. She just posted this on her X account.
Do I look sick to you? I'm working hard here. Anyway, I wanted to put everybody's mind at ease, those of you that seem to be real concerned, which I appreciate. And I appreciate your prayers because I'm a person of faith. I can always use the prayers for anything and everything. But I want you to know that I'm okay.
Yeah, her team is confirming that Dolly Parton is dealing with kidney stones and is receiving proper care. So she's taking a short break from the road, and she says everyone can rest easy. She's on the mend. And as she just said, I ain't dead yet. An arrest has been made for the person authorities say intentionally started the fire that smoldered into the Palisades fire in Southern California. Police say Jonathan Rendernecht was arrested in Florida. U.S. Attorney Bill Assail says the suspect used to live in the area and allegedly set the fire early on New Year's Day.
The allegations in the affidavit are supported by digital evidence, including the defendant's ChatGPT prompt of a dystopian painting showing in part a burning forest and a crowd fleeing from it.
January fire destroyed nearly 8,000 structures. 12 people died. The arson charges mean the suspect could face up to 20 years in prison. And former FBI Director James Comey has pleaded not guilty to charges he lied to Congress in 2020 about authorizing the FBI to leak details of the Hillary Clinton email probe to the press. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy with the latest.
The brief hearing had the former FBI director entering a not guilty plea through his defense attorney. Patrick Fitzgerald told the judge Comey's team would be filing several motions, challenging the case as a selective and vindictive prosecution, challenging Lindsay Halligan's appointment as the acting U.S. attorney, and a motion alleging that she abused the grand jury process. The judge has scheduled the case for trial in January. Comey was released on a recognizance bond.
And it's the return of a tragic pre-pandemic trend after a brief but welcome lull. The suicide rate among young adults is rising again.
New CDC statistics show an increase in Americans 18 to 27 taking their own lives. That population includes Gen Z, the first generation to be born with the internet. And some mental health professionals point to online bullying as one factor driving the numbers.
Now, if you or someone you know is struggling with suicidal thoughts or mental health issues, call or text 988. That's the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
For many of us, generators are becoming a must-have household appliance. From unpredictable weather to surprise outages, it's better to be safe than sorry. Generator Supercenter of Nashville offers fast and easy installations with 24/7 service and monitoring to all brands of generators and expert repairs done right. Our mission is to make owning a backup generator simple and easy. Visit your local store today or check us out online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
Healthcare is expensive AF is the best way to describe it. And it's not going to get any cheaper. At the end of the day, we talk about it here all the time. When you lay your head down, sitting there chatting with your wife or, doom scrolling, and you start thinking, it's not about whether or not the Houthis are going to attack us or whether or not this or that. It's about the bills. It's about life. And healthcare is going to go up. And it's going up fast. And one of the things the Republicans, to pay for the big, beautiful bill and the tax cuts, they thought, hey, we should get rid of some of this stuff. And lo and behold, what do you have? You've got subsidies going away. Do I like subsidies? Not so much. But the reality is, I don't get to make up health care. They do. And then the states take over. That's after it was all drawn up by lawyers and insurance companies. And you've got people like, our good buddy, Mike Johnson.
A couple of things. First of all,
and by the way, Mike Johnson, that is his real name. I always think it's a fake name, but it's his real name.
There is no daylight between House Republicans, Senate Republicans, President Trump, and the White House. We're united, and that's why we're winning this fight, and it's an important one for the American people. With regard to the subsidies, remember, that is 100% a red herring. It's a distraction. This is what Chuck Schumer and the Democrats put together to try to make the issue of the day.
No, actually, they try to. If they were halfway competent, they could sell it to the people. Chuck Schumer is awful. He couldn't sell anything to anybody. He's just, look, say what you want about Mitch McConnell. Oh, guys, it's me, Mitch McConnell. Say what you want about old Mitch. When Mitch was, cognate, they called him the wizard because he knew a lot of stuff. Harry Reid, by the way, was the same way. That guy knew everything and could sell stuff to people. The Republicans, man, I'm telling you guys right now, the reason that you're sitting in an okay position is because the team you're playing against is awful. It is awful. That's why. And especially, Trump has saved your butt on numerous occasions because you guys don't do anything and you defer everything to him in executive orders. But healthcare is going to continue to go up, and nobody's talking outside of Marjorie Taylor Greene. We touched on this last hour. You know what? I had several people say, how about a Marjorie Taylor Greene and a Fetterman ticket in 2028? And one of the reasons Marjorie has kind of changed her tune, she got in there. She was a small business owner. She really got into, in that Tea Party movement. You guys remember the Tea Party movement? How big that was? When Obamacare was there, she got into that. Once she got around a lot of this stuff, and she said some stuff that's inflammatory, and at times I've criticized the hell out of her because some of the stuff she says is wacky. But now she's sitting there, and she's been talking to her kids who are older, and they're saying, we can't afford a house. We can't afford health insurance. And she saw what was happening to them, and she's like, this is a losing argument for the Republicans.
Well, if you follow my post, health insurance is something I've been talking about for quite a while. Insurance across the board, it's crushing people. The cost of living is gone so high in the past 4.5 years, and it hasn't come down. Rent is unaffordable. You can't buy a home. A lot of people don't even know if they'll ever be able to buy a home. But insurance premiums are unbelievably high.
Up and to the right.
Yep, and they're looking to go up. Not only people on the ACA, but people that have private plans as well. This is the #1 issue I hear about in my district. I work for Georgia's 14th district, and so I'm willing to take off team jerseys, so to speak, right now and call it literally like it is. This is a crisis in America, and I really want to work on it.
So it's a crisis in America because rent is too damn high. Trying to get a house for the younger generation, they're just frustrated, like you couldn't believe. But they're paying money left, right, and center for just about everything. And people are frustrated. I've heard from you guys, a lot of you who are hardcore Trump supporters and MAGA who are saying, yeah, I haven't seen some of the stuff I was promised that we thought we were going to get. Some of it does take time. But this is one of those things where when we broke it down, and I'm going to give you guys the numbers here, and these are numbers for right here in Davidson County, Nashville, and Tennessee. So the median income, let's just say it's about 80 grand, give or take. When you look at the marketplace, here in Tennessee alone, there's almost 600,000 people that are going to the marketplace. That's, So that's a decent amount. Then you got a lot of other people that are nowhere near going to the marketplace because they couldn't afford it. And you've got a lot of people that have stuff through their employers. And by the way, your employers, they're expecting a 20% jump, potentially, depending on what state you're in your employers. But right now, with this, so if you're going through the ACA, the Obamacare, the marketplace, you're looking at a situation where if it's a family of 4 with the subsidies, right, you're looking at reduced, you're getting maybe $600 a month towards that. Sometimes a little bit more. So it's manageable, and you're not getting that. This isn't the top tier. Top tier, you're looking at about $1,000 in subsidies, but you're paying $400 to $600 a month for health care. Now, take away those subsidies and think to yourself, what if you have to pay, instead of a couple hundred, $800, instead of $400 or $500, $1,200 to $1,400. That's not a winning argument to get rid of them because you've replaced them with nothing. And the problem is everybody said, well, let the free market. The free market would be great, except the free market's not free. Crony capitalism, tons of regulations, has allowed us to get to this point where you could even create an Obamacare. And when they created it as a law, and then they said, hey, guys, yeah, you people who are in the insurance industry, come over here, help us craft this thing. And now we're in a situation where it's getting more and more expensive. Several of you were like me. You're your own boss. So, and your paycheck, if you will, the money you brought in, not the money you took home, but the money you brought in says, well, you don't need subsidies, so you should pay this. The amount of money that I was paying is embarrassing. The cost. It was crazy, the cost. That's only going to go up. And I was blessed that I could be able to do that. But the thing is, I paid so much money. You know what I got for that? We never used it. Thank God for that. But even when we did, and we had to go get our prescriptions for whatever, right? ADHD medicine or whatever it is, we paid cash because our deductible and stuff was so high, or a copay, that it was just easier to pay cash. So it wasn't even like you had this thing where you had this most amazing, incredible thing where it was $1 for your copay, and it was still, to get to that point, you're looking at thousands of dollars. I'm at the point where it's like, kids, go get wounded, but not too bad, just enough so we can cover our deductible.
I've only talked to a few people today. They agree with me. But to be honest with you, since the government is shut down, we haven't had much conversation, much communication at all within our conference, which I also think is a major problem. The House is not in session. We should be. We should be working on appropriations. That's important to me. I really want to get appropriations, tax dollars back to my district. And I also think we have other important work to do. So I was largely against the CR. I want to do appropriations, and I don't think the government should be shut down right now.
No, I don't think so either. And even Trump, I guess, is starting to listen to people who are saying, hey, you're looking at us. So I talked about our 600,000 people here. And you start to multiply that across the country and think about next year and what potentially is going to happen. And you're going, okay, there's 22 to 25 million Americans that could potentially lose their health care or have it go up to the point where they have to start making serious decisions like, hey, what do we do? Keep the lights on or have health insurance? Yes, sir. Okay, you want to say something, RJ? You want to say something?
I got nothing. I'm just listening.
Nah, there. Look, RJ's in for Bell today. We fired Bell, but he'll be back in a while. We got to do something, guys. I mean, let's be honest. This isn't about it's hammering both sides because both sides have failed. Republicans, you had a chance to try to do something, and everything you did back when Obama was there and repealing it, and the baloney was simply the usual BS. It was all for show and nothing else. And you had nothing to replace it. And everybody's like, well, let the free market. It'll be great because we can go across state lines. You can't. Because if you do that, you're going to watch it go from the haves to the super have-nots. And that's because everybody's got their own regulations. They got their own restrictions. They have their own licensing. They have their own this. So, and they've given, by the way, there is a provision inside of Obamacare where they can go across state lines. States can work together. Nobody's ever taken it up because it's too costly and it's too convoluted. That's what happens when you let the same people craft this. If this doesn't get taken care of in the right way and it starts to cost many, many people, as I'm seeing the text come in, the expense of an extra $500 to $1,000 a month out of your wallet when you're already just getting by, I have a feeling there's going to be serious issues when come voting time and people are looking for somebody to blame.
Well, no, the issues of the subsidies are real. It's not something that anybody can say is made up. Also, people with regular or private plans, their premiums are looking to go up a median of 18%. That's brutal. I know a lot of small business owners, like a family of four, and they're paying $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month with deductibles of $7,000 to $10,000, and approximately 40% of these people don't even use their health insurance. So they're just burning money just in case they might have cancer, or just in case they have a terrible car accident. And then you've got single moms, many Americans that are really struggling that are on the ACA. If you double their health insurance or even triple it, these people are they're either gonna have to drop it or they're gonna be choosing between rent and their health insurance.
That's not winning. It isn't. And Republicans, you've had opportunities, just like Democrats, you've had opportunities to fix this. And there's a fix out there. The issue is lobbyists. Too much money. Nobody's going to let you really try to get serious about fixing certain things because it may hurt their bottom line. And, somebody just texted and said, all right, so 10% of the country gets to dictate how 90% have to skeins their tax money. It's not just 10%. I told you that you're going to see a jump in your bill, even if you have health insurance through your company, that is going to cost you an extra 10 to 20%. In some places, a little bit more. In some places, hopefully nothing. It is a frustration and a nightmare for people out there that they're seeing the expense of things they need go up and the things that we don't need go down. And people are getting frustrated. Food, too damn expensive. Rent, mortgage, crazy. These are the things that are important. A lot of the other stuff that happens, it's great theater, but at the end of the day, it's not making your life easier outside of watching people, get lambasted on the old X. Reach out to us. Let us know, what are you paying for health insurance? And would a doubling of it hurt you? Would 25% jump hurt you? Let us know. Tweet at us. Text the program. Tweet at me at Chad Benson Show. We got White Woman Wednesday. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Are we going to war with Venezuela? More on Chicago and Portland, the battle that is, or theater. Wonder which one it is. Talk about that as well. You're missing the show. Shame on you who had the podcast. It is Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 99.7. Birch Gold. Birch Gold. Let me tell you something about Birch Gold. They're amazing. They're incredible. I've been telling you guys about gold for a while. Have I not? Have I not? You been listening? No. Gold still has movement in it. And with the unsettledness in the economy, the unsettledness in the global issues that we have, as well as the potential for some inflation, not to mention the weakening dollar, gold's a great place to diversify. That's what I want you to do. Text the word Benson to 989898 now. They're going to get you out a info kit, let you show you why gold's important, why being able to diversify in such a way protects your family and your future, all that stuff you work so hard for. And Birch is going to help you with that. No hard sale, simple and easy. You text the word Benson to 989898. They can show you how you can move over an IRA or 401k into a gold-backed IRA. And they can show you, if you want the physical, how they can help you with that as well. Simple, easy. Text the word Benson now to 989898 for our friends at Birch Gold.
Metro Police investigating the murder of an elderly woman in her home. Dolly Parton's addressing widespread concern over her health and a major development in the Palisades fire investigation. These stories and more coming up at 1:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Oh, the Palisades, kids. For those of you out there, Palisades is one of those places where a one-bedroom, one-bath bungalow underneath the ground is worth $18 gazillion, never to be rebuilt again. California's going to do everything they can to slow walk this until everybody dies, and they could build low-income housing that will be a hot mess. Yay, California. It is White Girl Wednesday. You guys know about the white girls? You guys heard about these white ladies? This one, while not our girl, let me see if I can find it, is... Okay, Ken, I want everybody to take a listen to this. Do you fall into this category?
Listen, I'm just going to call it like I see it. If you are someone who insists on backing into a parking spot, you are slightly toxic. There is a direct correlation, especially with men. If you are constantly backing in and that's like your go-to, you exist on a scale of masculinity that's like really close to not being the positive side. You know what I mean?
Are you a backer-inner, Ken?
I turn the stereo down.
Oh, you do? Well, that's always
when
good
I do, because otherwise I'm going to crash.
Yeah. I do that too, and I'm also smelling something. My wife likes to back the thing in. She does. I don't care. I don't. And why should anybody care anymore? We all have cameras.
I like to do it at concerts. Like when you're in a crowded parking lot.
Yeah.
I like to back in there.
Now, you don't do that, though, right? When it comes to if you got a bunch of people behind you. That's if you get there and you see a place and there's not a ton of people.
Yeah, if there's nobody waiting on me, I'll definitely do it.
Yeah. I will. My wife, she'll go, you need to back it in when we pull in the house. I don't know why. I don't know what it's about. Whatever. She has maybe it's a phobia or something. But for me, if I see a parking spot, I want it, and I want to be able to just drive out. If I'm at like a Target or something, I'll go to the further away than everybody and just drive through too.
Yeah. Yeah, especially at grocery shopping.
Yes.
Yeah, usually the parking lot is really crowded, and I will drive through if I can.
If you can.
But sometimes that's not possible. No. And if that is the case, then I park well away from the store because there's too much traffic around the store.
Yes.
You got pedestrians.
Yes, exactly.
And I don't want to run over one.
I like to park the furthest I can next to, close by, the cart return.
Bingo.
Because you've got to return your cart or you're a psycho.
Well, actually, you know what? I need to start staying away from that, too, because people are usually really angry when they're putting their carts there because they just paid for their groceries.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're not paying attention.
No.
And I might run over them.
And they're frustrated. I just paid how much for some steak? $1 gazillion? Oh.
But yeah, most of the time I get well away from people when I'm parked.
You got to find the open back-to-back spots and then just drive across.
Bingo.
That's the best, man.
Bingo.
You drive right across that. That's it.
Well, and then I don't have to turn down the buoys and Timothy.
The buoys. Now, somebody texted in, that was your one-hit wonder. We'll do it again next hour. But somebody texted in and said, Timothy was not a man, but Timothy was a mule.
Oh, interesting.
But when you name an animal,
Timothy,
it makes it harder to eat.
Yes, it does.
Right? Like, that's why I'm reluctant to, not that my ChatGPT or any of them are animals, but I'm reluctant to name them because then you can become personal.
Even if you named him Mr. Potts.
Yes. Even then. You don't name, because it becomes, you become attached, and you don't want that. You're like, we can't eat Timmy? Because you're like, you could look over and go, I could eat that. You could eat that. I could eat that. But
where's the mayonnaise?
Where's the mayonnaise? But you can't look over and go, oh, we can't eat Timmy.
Would you have cried if Old Yeller didn't have a name?
I'm going to throw it out there to you guys out there. I've never seen Old Yeller.
Oh, it's very sad.
Oh.
Very sad story.
I mean, I just watched the end where it shoots the dog. Outside of that, I don't care about the rest of the movie.
It's terrible.
You know what? Isn't it weird though? Like I've never really seen the movie, but how about this? I am one, or what is that one with who's the slapper? The guy that won the Will Smith.
I Am Legend.
I Am Legend. When the dog died, that was like one of the most heartbreaking things I'd ever seen in a movie. When he had to shoot the dog because the dog was going to turn into something. It was his best friend.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't care that he killed 500 people before that. They were zombies, but still, they were somebody's loved one at one time. But when he had to kill the dog, it was heartbreaking. I don't like that stuff.
Well, actually, the zombies are more depressing if you read the original book. But...
Yeah, I don't want to read the original book. It's got words and stuff. I listen to
that
things.
takes time.
I know.
And concentration.
Yeah. In between going through and doom scrolling, how am I going to read a book? That's why I listen to books. I read sometimes. I read a lot of articles, but books anymore, I just listen to. I will listen to, like I've been listening a lot to Marcus Aurelius while I'm reading, which is also very confusing. I'm like, did I just mix up a story with one of his meditations? Did I screw something up there? I feel like I did. Coming up, we're talking a lot about healthcare. We're going to talk a bit about that because people would say, what's your fix? I got a fix. We're going to talk about that. On top of that, what's going on in Portland? What's going on in Chicago? Talk about that as well. If you're missing the show, we say shame on you. Grab the podcast. It is the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. And right now in Nashville, an absolute terrible story. Metro Police investigating the murder of a 74-year-old woman found dead inside her North Nashville home. Harriet Edwards discovered Monday morning by a longtime friend who hadn't heard from her in several days. She was found on her bed at her home on Chateau Valley Court. An autopsy revealed Edwards died from strangulation and suffered blunt force trauma to the head. Detectives believe she was killed sometime between 2:30 and 7:30 Friday afternoon, and they're asking anyone who might have been in the Chateau Valley Court or Chateau Valley Drive area to say and saw anything unusual to call Nashville Crime Stoppers. That's at 615-742-7463. You can remain anonymous, and you may be eligible for a cash reward. Meanwhile, Dolly Parton is addressing widespread concern about her health following a heartfelt social media post from her sister, Frida, asking fans to pray for her.
I'm not ready to die yet. I don't think God is through with me, and I ain't done working.
Well, her sister's post has sparked rumors and speculation, especially after Dolly postponed her Las Vegas residency that was supposed to start in December.
Nothing major, but I did have to cancel some things so I could be closer to home, closer to Vanderbilt. Where I'm kind of having a few treatments here and there.
Reports are Dolly's getting treatment for kidney stones. And a Florida man is under arrest accused of starting January's deadly Palisades fire while he was living in California. ABC's Alex Stone reports from the U.S. Attorney's Office in L.A.
According to prosecutors, 29-year-old Jonathan Rinderknecht was an Uber driver and had seemed agitated on January 1st. He allegedly created an AI image on ChatGPT showing people fleeing from fire, and U.S. Attorney Bill Asale says right before the fire was set, Rinderknecht
listened to a rap song whose music video including objects being lit on fire.
Then he allegedly watched and recorded the fire department response. Prosecutors say that fire was put out. Then 7 days later in high wind, it rekindled as a Palisades fire and killed 12 victims. Alex Stone, ABC News in downtown Los Angeles.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Sunshine, we're still in the 70s. We'll be back near 80. Contours. You want to get thinner? Of course you do. You're sick and tired of doing all those crunches and eating stuff that would really not even fill up a guinea pig, and it's not going to make any difference. You know what will? Contours, Cool Springs. This is what I want you to do. They got a belly buster package right now. You go in, by the way, your first treatment, right? You relax, you sit back. All of these treatments are this way. Take a deep breath, and you're guaranteed to lose 2 inches on your first treatment. You're going to continue to lose more with all of your treatments across your chest and belly. Think about that. That's incredible. But on top of that, when you get the Belly Buster package, they're going to give you a facial med spa package, a $1,500 package, 1,500 bones right there. It's not one of those, oh, my girlfriends and I are going away for the weekend kind of thing. So you can gift it to somebody. It's amazing. It's like getting a whole new face. Oh, how cool is that? Keep it for yourself or give it to somebody. All when you go in to Cool Springs and see our buddies at Contours. So go in, lose the weight, lose the inches, feel amazing. And I'm telling you, it's so relaxing and fit in your clothes better, fit in your shirts better, and maybe get that new face you've always dreamed of and get rid of those wrinkles. Call them today, 615-236-9960, 615-236-9960, or visit ContoursLLC.com to schedule what you got to lose, but inches and wrinkles. We love doing music here. Apparently, they've got the greatest music of the 21st century. They have rankings now. Have you heard any of these songs? Now, some of them are not one-hit wonders. Some of them may end up being that way.
Whether you're dancing down at the Pink Pony Club with Chapel Roan, trying to solve those 99 problems with Jay-Z, or headbanging with the Killers to Mr. Brightside, there's a little something for everyone on Rolling Stone's list of the greatest 250 songs of the 21st century so far. In the top slot, Missy Elliott's Get Your Freak On. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Really? Get Your Freak On's the number one? Bell gave me a look like he just ate something that didn't agree with him. He's like, I mean, I like the song, but...
Yeah, I mean, I like the song too, but number one?
Yeah.
I mean, I might even be willing to go with top 20, but not number one.
Which one was number one?
Missy Elliott.
Who's she?
Get Your Freak On. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, that.
Yeah. That's the number one of the 21st century.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. I'm not sure.
Of course, they didn't ask me.
No, they didn't, but doesn't mean they can't.
They might just come right out and do it.
They might. You never know, kids. You never know.
Ken, we'd like to have your opinion on this. Hold on, let me put on a shirt.
Which Cannibal Corpse song do you think is the best song of the 21st century?
I'd have to say Hammer Smashed Face.
Is that really a song?
Yeah.
Hammer Smash Face?
Yes.
So my assumption is in the song, somebody's got a hammer and they smash a face.
No. They're just singing about it. The guitar sounds like a hammer.
It's a song about cannibalism.
Well, hence the name. I mean, if you guys don't know, Ken, is that one of your favorite bands, Ken?
Not one of my favorites. I like the guitar.
Okay, is that
I really love their guitar work. I'm not a fan of the lyrics, so to speak, but I do like their guitar. I love hard guitar.
It is funny because yesterday he's like, I have a Cannibal Corpse shirt that I can't even wear to their concert.
Yeah, a fan, a listener who is also, I assume, a fan of the band, found this shirt in some knockoff store and sent it. And I'm like, oh, my. And he even said, probably not for wear.
That's probably. You got to think about it. In today's world, for people to look at a shirt and go, yeah, not even in this. No, I can't even do that here. I can't even do that at their concert.
I could probably do that, but on the way to the concert, I'm going to have to wear a coat.
Oh.
Or a paisley shawl.
Oh, I know paisley is always nice. Paisley. It's been a long time since I've been wearing paisley.
Let me tell you something, dude. If I showed up at a metal concert in a paisley shawl, I'd probably get my ass kicked.
No, you wouldn't. They would celebrate you for cojones. They were like, that guy. That guy. I did not know Hammer Smash Face.
Yeah.
Was that in Ace Ventura?
I think that's the one they were playing. That might have been.
Wow. I didn't know that. That is interesting. Hammer Smash Face. Hammer Smash Face.
I mean, I love their, what I love about them, is the lead singer, George Corpse Grinder Fisher. He actually, to me, his vocals sound good. And that's something that is missing in a lot of metal music today, in my opinion. Really? To me, Phil Anselmo has the greatest heavy metal voice of all time. Phil Anselmo can scream, but he still sounds melodic.
I've always wondered, like everybody says not Van Halen, but Led Zeppelin's they're kind of like the precursor to heavy metal. When we think of heavy metal, because I think there's different, I never looked at Ozzy and Black Dio. I mean, I never looked at like Black Sabbath or Dio, or I looked at them as heavy metal, right? Hard rock, Black Sabbath, heavy metal. And then you had hair bands.
Right.
But I think everybody gets lumped in together.
Yeah. To me, hair bands, and this is just my opinion, but to me, hair bands, I think were trying to sound like AC/DC. They had that beat, that AC/DC beat. Not Judas Priest.
No.
Judas Priest, I think, had their own sound. But like going back to George Corpse Grinder Fisher, the reason I like him is, it's a death metal voice where he's just kind of, but it doesn't sound forced and it sounds natural. Where in my opinion, a lot of heavy metal bands out today, they're screaming, but they sound terrible.
Who's the band?
The guitars are good. I love the guitar, but the vocals, man, I mean, for me, I'm just ruined on Phil Anselmo. Phil Anselmo, to me, is one of the best singers of all time, in my opinion.
Who is the band? Belle, you'll know this. I always forget the name. They're a hard rocking band. They're young. I think they're out of Detroit, Michigan, and they sound like Led Zeppelin. What is the name of that?
Greta Van Fleet.
Yes, Greta Van.
That guy doesn't even look like he's trying when he's singing. Even I saw Robert Plant said he doesn't even look like he's making an effort to sing.
Right. And that's the sign of a great vocalist.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're not trying.
Yeah, like Freddie Mercury. Like it never looked like it was tough. Even when he sang with the great opera star, she said, he never looked like it was any big deal to push through and do stuff that just other people couldn't do.
Right.
That's awesome. I love it. It's awesome, baby. Speaking of heavy metal, this is Brandon Johnson. For those of you who don't know, he is the leader of the Oompa Loompas in Chicago, also their mayor.
Well, just this past week, I signed another executive order.
Oh, good.
3 sweeping executive orders to make sure that the fundamental right to protest is intact. We're making sure that people know their rights, and all of our sister agencies and city departments are working in accordance with the local ordinance. And then now, public property that the city owns, ICE cannot prepare its weapons on school parking lots. ICE cannot prepare to disappear families in the parking lots of libraries. That's not what these public accommodations are for. We literally had a Southside neighborhood under siege with black helicopters, Black Hawk helicopters, where individuals who were sleeping peacefully in their communities had masked, armed men stick long guns in their faces. This is not the type of America that my ancestors, our ancestors, fought hard to create.
He's a buffoon. But that being said, the whole thing with the Black Hawk helicopter, that wasn't a good look. And in a world of politics, branding is everything. And we've talked about this here. Love Trump, hate Trump, whatever. I don't care. Again, I care about America. I care about us. You want to continue to win? People, a vast majority of people are like, yeah, I don't want all these people here, but I'm not sure I want to get rid of everybody because everybody's got a friend or two that knows somebody or a place they go to get their tamales, the little lady down. Everybody's got somebody or something that they, that they work with, on a crew, and they got a guy that may or may not be here. They don't want to see it. They don't. And that wasn't a good look considering the vast majority of people they pulled out of their beds early were Americans, and they were terrified, as they should be. He's still winning this because most Americans are like, look, you allowed everybody in the world to come here. You vetted them, if at all, very poorly. You let several of them who were known wanted terrorists just leave and wander about before you had to go out and capture them again. You really destroyed the system in several places. And that was because of what Greg Abbott did. Let's be real. Abbott, I thought it was mostly, him and Doug Ducey from Arizona. They're like, we're going to bust people. And I thought, well, this is a stunt. I didn't think it would work. And New York, and everybody said, yeah, send them here. And then once they got there, they started to break the system. And then everybody's like, well, this can't happen. And it was system overload. People want to see change, and they want people gone. There is a certain thing that you do and a certain way you do it that will endear you to people. Because you know what? Look, I'm not a vegetarian, but I don't want to see the hot dog made. I don't. And you've got to be cognitive of that. Because people love, by the way, I don't know if you guys have seen this. I tweeted this out today. Just to give you an idea of how good Trump is. The number one thing has been immigration, there's no doubt. But the border, this is crazy. These numbers are insane at the border. I was sitting there going, are you kidding me? They haven't had numbers like this since 1970. Think about that. Nobody is coming across the border. Nobody's even making an effort to come across the border. They thought maybe, we'll figure it out. He'll get bored and move on. Nope. That hasn't happened. So like him or not, on the border, he's been great. Getting rid of the people that, we got to get rid of everybody, throw everybody out here. You have to do it. And people get mad. Well, you don't want that, or you're this liberal. You know what it is? I'm a person that understands the average voter isn't where MAGA is or isn't where the crazy left is. They're kind of in the center, a little bit right, a little bit left. They're the independents, fastest growing voter bloc in the country. Unfortunately, we're still stuck with two crappy, corporations to vote for. But you've got to make it so it's palpable for people. People can take it in and go, oh, yeah, you know what? I can. That's okay. That's okay. And if they think they're going to see kids, handcuffed or zip tied, which again ended up not being true, then what? It starts to make them feel, I don't want to see that. I didn't think it was going to be like that. So you have to, there's ways of doing things. And it's not about whether or not you should or shouldn't. It's think about the repercussions afterwards that come with that, because it's going to blow up. It's going to become a big story, and people start to ingest that, and they start to get uncomfortable with it. Then the polls start to shift. And right now, when it comes to immigration, it's your best thing going. Absolutely. So you want to make sure you continue to rock with that. Coming up, some good stuff. We got some great text messages, by the way, for Ken. We're going to ask him some people asking some serious questions about hair metal, about questions about other singers, Ken, because Ken loves the hair metal. Ken loves the hard rockers. We'll talk about that, as well as many other things. White Girl Wednesday. Yes, we have our friend Kylie. She'll be up here in a second as well. Reach out to us across all of our social media. If you miss any of the show, we always say shame on you. Grab the podcast. Chad Benz Show, Super Talk 99.7. Prize Picks wants you to download the app right now and take advantage of an opportunity to get $50 free lineups right into your account when you play your first $5 lineup by using my code, which is Chad. So what is Prize Picks? You go, you set yourself a lineup. All right, that's 2 or more, and you're doing it based on stats of players that you're already familiar with. So you got a big Thursday night game tomorrow night in the football world. Jackson Dart, new QB of that team out there in New York. And you're thinking to yourself, you know what? He looks good. I think he may pass for more than a touchdown. So right now they say it's a half a touchdown, more or less. You decide. That's one leg of your lineup. Jalen Hurts, will he rush for more than a half a touchdown? Yay, more or less. That is a lineup set. You can do it across the sports with baseball, basketball, hockey, soccer, you name it. It is simple and easy to do because you already watched the games, so you know the players. So what are you waiting for? Download the app today. Use my code CHAD. When you do, you get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CHAD to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup with Prize Picks. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Must be 21 in Tennessee. Gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789.
Metro Police are asking for anyone who might have seen something to come forward. They're investigating the murder of a 74-year-old woman in her North Nashville home. That's coming up at 2 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Several of you, as we were talking about, what was the name of the guy from Cannibal Corpse?
George Corpse Grinder Fisher.
It's a lot of names. People are asking you about Maynard James Keenan. Do you like him?
Oh, yeah, with Tool.
Yeah, with Tool.
Absolutely.
All right. Judas Priest.
Rob Halford.
Yeah, I like Rob.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know what? And the sad thing is, I always felt like whether it was the heavy metal bands in, the mid 80s and early 80s, or even the hair bands, so many of them lost, I think, a lot of people who would never listen to, didn't understand how great they were musically, how gifted they were with their vocals, because it was more about their persona on stage.
Oh, yeah, the show.
Yeah. It was
Or
more
in the
about
videos.
like,
Eddie.
Right?
Eddie.
Eddie was cool.
Up the irons.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for me, though, Eddie never overshadowed Iron Maiden.
No, but you like music, and you could really, you enjoy music, where I think a lot of people, I think other musicians, right? Because I've always heard like Robert Plant stuff, like would always talk about, not Robert Plant, but Robert Smith, how cool some of, and how friends with like Bruce Dickinson and stuff, because he appreciated the music, where the average person, especially in our day, because let's be real, in our day, it was like you had the punk rockers, and then you had the bebop top 40 kid kind of things. Everything was so segmented that people didn't appreciate, even with like Twisted Sister, because they became almost a caricature.
Dee Snider has an incredible voice.
Yeah.
I mean, incredible voice. And that early Twisted Sister, the album, I think it's just Twisted Sister. That's a great album. I actually think that album is better than their follow-up, which is the one that really was huge. And the title of it is escaping me, but it's got "We're Not Gonna Take It" on it. Wait, it's a great album too. But Twisted Sister's first album, the one before that's the one that I really like.
Did you know Judas Priest was in Franklin last night?
Yeah, they were a couple of weeks ago. My wife and I almost just up and drove over there on a Sunday afternoon to watch it, but
they were there last night, October 7th, First Bank Amphitheater in Franklin.
Really? I thought they were there
I was not even told, and Rob didn't come on and talk to me about it.
Huh, well, I thought that was a couple of weeks ago.
Man, you know how early you would have been?
I'd have been
You'd have been 2 weeks early.
I'd have camped out.
Aaron Lewis from Stain. He's got a good voice. Who's the guy? The bald guy. I'm trying to think what his name is. I don't know. There's a couple. There's so many great singers. But again, it goes back to, because of the persona, they, just like with, the people don't appreciate, you can say what you like about Taylor Swift or not. She's a hell of a songwriter. She's an artist.
Oh, yeah.
She gets it.
Very talented.
Very talented. And, like Ariana Grande, by the way, is crazy talented. Like super, super crazy talented. Have you ever heard her sing everybody else's songs like they do? She's crazy talented, and she's super funny too. But
I'll tell you who's got a great voice.
Who?
And it's one of right now, I listen to her songs for her voice, and that's Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
I think Miley Cyrus has an incredible voice.
The guy from Disturbed, bald guy, little bald guy now.
He's got a powerful voice.
That guy's got a powerful voice. But like, you're right, Miley Cyrus has an amazing voice. It is. T-Pain has an incredible voice too. If you've never heard T-Pain, have you ever heard T-Pain? What does he do? He does the
he does
War Machine, right? Or whatever.
War Pigs.
War Pigs.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Great version.
It is. All right, coming up, hour number 3 of the program, we're going to talk about healthcare. How do we fix it? Got some of your texts about immigration coming up as well. One Hit Wonder Wednesday. We've got a couple requests that we only do a certain genre of music next week, and I think we should talk about that as well. If you missed the show, make sure you grab the podcast. Hour number 3 of the Chad Benson Show, straight ahead.
2 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Metro Police are investigating the murder of a 74-year-old woman in North Nashville. Harriet Edwards was found dead Monday in her home on Chateau Valley Court. An autopsy shows she was strangled and suffered head injuries. Detectives believe the murder happened sometime between 2:30 and 7:30 Friday afternoon. So far, no suspicious activity has been reported in that area, but police are asking that if you were in that area and you saw anything unusual, we're talking about Chateau Valley Court or Chateau Valley Drive, call Crime Stoppers. You can remain anonymous, and you may be eligible for a reward. Dolly Parton is addressing growing concerns about her health after her sister Frida shared a heartfelt message on social media asking fans to keep Dolly in their prayers. The post quickly sparked speculation, especially following Dolly's decision to postpone her Las Vegas residency, originally scheduled to start in December.
I wanted to put everybody's mind at ease, those of you that seem to be real concerned, which I appreciate. And I appreciate your prayers because I'm a person of faith. I can always use the prayers for anything and everything. But I want you to know that I'm okay.
Reports are Dolly is being treated for kidney stones. And an arrest for the person authorities say intentionally started the Palisades fire near Los Angeles in early January. Police say Jonathan Rendernecht was arrested in Florida, but police say he used to live in Southern California. U.S. Attorney Bill Isale said the suspect was working as an Uber driver when he set a fire in the Pacific Palisades neighborhood.
The complaint unsealed today charges the defendant with destruction of property by means of fire, a felony that carries a mandatory minimum 5-year federal prison sentence and is punishable by up to 20 years in federal prison.
Now, authorities have not released a motive yet. The January Palisades fire destroyed nearly 8,000 structures. 12 people lost their lives. Former FBI Director James Comey has pleaded not guilty in a court in Alexandria, Virginia today. Comey indicted on charges of lying to a Senate committee in 2020. Former prosecutors where Comey was indicted had said there was no evidence to bring charges, but President Trump fired the U.S. attorney in charge, replaced him with Lindsey Halligan. Halligan, along with the prosecutor in North Carolina, were in court today.
The president has been critical of Comey for a decade now. He blames him for the Russia investigation, and we know that he has put public pressure on the attorney general. Remember, it was late last month when he said to reporters, we have to act fast. If they're not guilty, that's fine. He said if they are guilty, they should be charged.
That's Karen Travers reporting. And the final escapee from that dramatic jailbreak in New Orleans has been captured nearly 5 months after slipping through the cracks of the city's jail system. 28-year-old Derek Groves arrested earlier this morning in Atlanta. It followed a tense standoff with federal agents. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's the Chad Benson Show
on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good news. They're saving those people in Mount Everest. They've saved 100 of them or so. It's good news. If you guys didn't hear, there was I think it's the best way to describe it is there's a massive storm that goes through because welcome to Mount Everest. But there's the Chinese side and the Nepal, which they say is theirs, but the side where everybody goes up and scales it. This was supposed to be like the easier version of it. And the kitty, you know, like this is the kitty one. No, it didn't work that way. So they had to save those people. So they didn't have to eat anybody. That's good because Ken has got a great song coming up in a little while on our One Hit Wonder Wednesday that may or may not have cannibalism involved in it. Just putting it out there, people. Good news. We're close to something huge. Could be massive. Middle East. That's what should have always happened. The Middle East should have gotten involved in a much deeper way rather than saying no, no, no. Now, is it perfect? No. Could there be some issues? Of course, right? First of all, the issues are going to be there's 20 things that they want to do. Phase 1 and 2 is getting the hostages and the remains back. That's phase 1. Number 1, getting some of the Palestinians that have been held in jails back, because there's a lot of them that had nothing to do with that day, but they've just been deemed, and getting them back. And then whether or not Hamas will, you know, how it works with laying down the weapons. So, yeah, there's going to be some bumps along the road, but that's a huge win. That is massive. And it's something that was needed for Israel. You know, whenever we talk about this, and you'll always hear us joke about it, you know, that, oh, Chad, you burned the bagels or whatever, because you couldn't say anything without people going, you're anti-Semitic. I still get it. No, exact opposite. If you care about something, you're willing to tell them the truth. And the truth was that Bibi and Smotrich and the likes, and if you don't know who he is, he's their finance minister, and Ben-Gvir, these people in the Likud party were taking Israel to a place where it would be forever before they got back on solid footing with the rest of the world. And they were also taking us to a place where we got very uncomfortable. And the fact that Trump said, nah, you're going to take the win, Bibi, and be happy with it, oh, it was great. And by the way, as I told you guys last week, Bibi may be the most liberal in his party. When you think about that, it's crazy, right? And the other two, the ones I've talked about, Gvir and Smotrich, they have told Bibi they don't want any part of this. Luckily, I think Trump looked at him and said, shh, you're not involved in this. So I hope they get something done. God willing, they get something done. Because I don't know how many people have died. Since it's 2 years plus, but since that day, I don't know how many IDF soldiers have died. And suicide has also been a big deal. But I don't know how many of them have died or have been injured. And then when you look over on the other side, the Palestinians, they say 68,000. I probably think it's closer to 90, maybe 100. Because how many people are underneath that rubble that they haven't even come close to finding? I would like to think it's way less than that. God willing, it's way less than that. And that there is nobody under any of those things. And it's an overestimate. And then comes the hard part. Once this gets done, the hard part of not just maintaining peace, who's on the other side that helps maintain it? What does that look like? Is it, you're going to have the UAE, you're going to have Saudi Arabia, you're going to have several other, Arab nations that are going to be helping with the peacekeeping and training up a police force and a military. And, that is going to be important. And this is, and also policing Hamas, who in the last couple of years were exhausted. You know what? I don't think anybody told them that running the portions of the country would be that exhausting. These people want everything. So good riddance, get them out of there, rebuild, and this is a win for Israel and the world. I think it's a huge, huge deal. Talking earlier about healthcare, the cost of healthcare, the insanity of healthcare, and what is going to be going through the roof. And Marjorie Taylor Greene has been one of the only Republicans that has come out and said, yeah, we can't allow the subsidies to expire and think that that's going to be a win for the people and think that, oh, yeah, don't worry. Eventually, the subsidies are going to come down. They didn't come down with ACA and Obamacare as far as the cost of health insurance. They didn't come down at all, the premiums, when they said they were going to. They didn't even slow down at times. It became much worse. And pulling the rug out from everybody else is going to be a situation where you are going to anger a lot of people who are voters. And that's something you can't have going into next year.
So I'm coming from a business background. I believe in walking and chewing gum at the same time. I think we should be able to work on all of this at the same time. What I am doing is sounding the alarm bells. This is a major crisis in America. When people are working paycheck to paycheck, they can't make ends meet, and we're looking at a massive spike in health insurance premiums. It's going to crush people. They're going to have to drop their health insurance, and that could put a lot of people in danger of being bankrupt with hospital bills or health care bills. And I don't think that's the right way to treat the American people. We're elected by them. Their taxpayer dollars fund our paychecks. They fund the entire government, and I believe the American people deserve better.
We all deserve better. We do. Crony capitalism, restrictive regulations, overreach, and we go on and on. We pay more for health care, and we're further away from our health care provider. Let me rephrase that. We're not paying for health care. We pay more for pieces of paper and cards, and yet we're further away from the person that is our provider, the person we talk to. We're further away. And that is so frustrating when you think about it, because what you become is a number. That's it. And they have it broken down like you can see 50 patients today. Each one gets 4.5 minutes. So that way you can just, there you go. Keep going. There you go. That's not, what the hell is that? That's why, even though I paid ridiculous amounts of, and again, I was embarrassed to even say how much I paid, but let's just say we worked it out. I could have, off what we were paying for healthcare, my mortgage I could add a $750,000 home. That's how much for my family. And what did we do with it? Our deductible was still through the roof. Our copays were ridiculous. And I paid an extra $150 a month when I was in Arizona to have concierge medicine, where we had a guy, Dr. Lamb. Dr. Lamb, what's up? It's amazing. What do we do? Hey, Dr. Lamb, I need a prescription. Okay, cool. What is it? Here's my number. He didn't take insurance. Everything was cash. If you needed an x-ray, he had an x-ray machine. You paid his price. If you had to go to the hospital for an MI or any of these things, it was so much easier. And when we went to see him, because it was subscription-based, so you paid every month, we would spend an hour and a half sometimes with him just BS and talking, going through your life, the whole 9 yards. He would be asking you questions. It was great. And we had his home number. We had his cell phone number. And if you needed something, you text him, he'd get right back to you. And it was totally worth it. That's healthcare. Cards are not healthcare. A law is not healthcare. And if the prices go up, you've got to think about this, not in the, and just like we were talking about with immigration, you've got to think about it not in the two ways. First of all, what's best for us as Americans. Secondly, you're trying to win always an election. You're trying to continue to hold what you think is your mandate and build upon that. So there are things that you have to do to continue to do that. And if healthcare goes up, and it's going to go up, it's just how much. We've heard from several of you throughout the day on how much you're paying and how much you think it's going to go up, or you've been told it's going to go up. And some of you have said, we're not going to be able to afford it. We're not. And Marjorie Taylor Greene came at this because, first of all, I think she's looking around and she's had an epiphany that these people that I work with are not serious. They're doing well and they care about their own world. And they're not really working for the people. And she also had been talking to her kids as a small business owner. She got involved in politics because of Obamacare and the whole Tea Party movement. And when she got involved, once she got there, she realized they don't have all the answers. Nobody's really interested in the effect. And being a small business owner that she was, she said, look, people can't afford this stuff. Her kids can't afford health care. That's what really made her say, yeah, this isn't good.
There is no daylight between House Republicans, Senate Republicans, President Trump, and the White House. We're united, and that's why we're winning this fight, and it's an important one for the American people. With regard to the subsidies, remember, that is 100% a red herring. It's a distraction. This is what Chuck Schumer and the Democrats put together to try to make the issue of the day.
It's not the issue of the day. The issue of the day is life is too damn expensive, and healthcare is just one part of it. And how many of you right now, if you knew that your healthcare was going to go up by 25 to 75%, maybe even double, what is that going to do for you? I'm sure you're not going to be thrilled by that. No. And people are going to start making decisions on, okay, well, we'll insure the kids. We'll do that. But, I don't know if I can do this, or, we're going to have to get this version of healthcare, which is a $50 million gazillion dollar, you've got to hit this deductible. Otherwise, but it's the only thing you're going to be able to afford.
Well, no, the issues of the subsidies are real. It's not something that anybody can say is made up. Also, people with regular or private plans, their premiums are looking to go up a median of 18%. That's brutal. I know a lot of small business owners, like a family of four, and they're paying $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month with deductibles of $7,000 to $10,000, and approximately 40% of these people don't even use their health insurance, so they're just burning money just in case they might have cancer, or just in case they have a terrible car accident. And then you've got single moms, many Americans that are really struggling that are on the ACA. If you double their health insurance or even triple it, these people they're either going to have to drop it, or they're going to be choosing between rent and their health insurance.
Kids are living at home longer, can't afford to buy a house. They're in more debt than ever before, and life is getting more expensive. I saw somebody just text here a little while ago who said, they're retired, and they say, look, if my health care goes up, I'm going to have to really start making certain decisions that I never thought I'd have to make after working so hard. Yeah, that's why it's important. I don't like the subsidies. I don't want government involved, but it's too late. They got involved, and we all know government doesn't back out well. So the question is going to be, if you decide, nope, we're going to screw it, you people are screwed, okay. What happens, though, when people start seeing their deductibles go up, their copays go up, their actual premiums go through the roof, and then next year it comes voting time, and they say to themselves, yeah, no, I don't like this. I feel like you guys did actually want to give tax cuts to the uber wealthy, which they did, and at the expense of a lot of other things, and you don't have any real ideas about how to fix healthcare. We're going to talk about fixing healthcare coming up straight ahead, among other things. White Girl Wednesday, we'll do some of that, and One Hit Wonder Wednesday. There's a big debate about Ken's song that I've seen several things about it. I like the song. It's an interesting song. We will discuss that as well. If you missed any of the show, grab the podcast. Happy Wednesday. It's the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
With Punch. Anytime you want. Available now on the Super Talk 99.7 WTN app and your favorite podcast platform.
Raycon Best Earbuds around. It's their anniversary right now. You want to get the best earbuds? Raycon, is it 20% off right now? They're celebrating the everyday earbud classics, the ones I love. I wear them every single day. You are going to love the fit, the feel. They make amazing Christmas presents. And right now, 20% off, 30-day happiness guarantee for earbuds that normally would cost you hundreds upon hundreds. You're not paying anywhere close to that. That's what's amazing about these. 8 hours of talk time, 32 hours of battery life, a fit and feel that is second to none, and a sound quality that is crazy, plus active noise cancellation, fast charging, multi-connectivity, just to name a few things. So if you want the best sound quality, celebrate the anniversary with the classic earbuds from Raycon. Get these now, save 20%, get yourself free shipping, and 30-day happiness guarantee. BuyRaycon.com/Chad. BuyRaycon.com/Chad.
Metro Police investigating the murder of an elderly woman in North Nashville. We've got an arrest for the Palisades fire in California. And country music legend Dolly Parton's reassuring fans after rumors swirled about her health. These stories and more at 2:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
My old boss used to say, don't bring big problems, bring me solutions. That's what he used to say. His name was Andrew. Chad, don't bring me a problem, bring me a solution. Okay.
Sounds like a boss.
He was boss, man. He's a good dude. So how do we fix healthcare? You know, as we've been talking about, the expense. And because I lived under, everybody talks about socialized medicine. Yeah, it sucks. It's got its good and it's got its bad, like everything. I lived in Britain for about a decade. And I had an NHS card, National Health Insurance. If you, and this is something I think people need to understand. If you break your arm, right? Like, the old saying is, if you break your arm, you want to break your arm there. And you're not getting a bill the way you would. Because here, you never know what that bill could be. If you have a heart attack, you want the best, here it is. And again, you don't know what that bill's going to be either. Depending on what study you're looking at, 62% of bankruptcies are medical related. I mean, the cost, we were doing that thing that fight DMD, and they were talking about that shot that they're giving these kids. And this is a form of muscular dystrophy. It's $3 million a shot. Not many people have $3 million for a shot. That's expensive. So I think the way that this thing's going to have to go is you're going to have to start giving people choices. And, you know, somebody floated something earlier that I think is something that I've talked about for years is you pay for the thing, right? You get an appendicitis, you pay for that. You break your arm here, you pay for that. You get cancer, and for all the taxes and the money and everything, we might start looking at, okay, how do we shift this? And the government's going to have to take a portion of this, control of this. It sucks, but that's the reality of where we are. Giving people choices of, hey, do you want private insurance? Great. Okay, private insurance is what you got. If you want to go on, you know, the government-backed-ish state insurance really is what it is, or something like that, then you give people the opportunity to do that. But the fact that, you know, we're sitting here and people are deciding whether or not they're going to be able to afford their rent with food going up and then saying to themselves, good God, now I got to pay an extra 25% for my company-based healthcare, let alone people that are employed for themselves or small business owners. That is, you know, we've got to come up with ways, and we've got to start floating this out there. We give so much money away. We just give $20 billion to Argentina for what? Because they can't manage their money, and Malay's a pal, and our buddies went down there and they invested a crap ton of money, and it's not going the way they thought, so they'd like somebody to bail them out. It's kind of what it was. We've got to start figuring this stuff out. You know, Trump got rid of the, you know, because one of the things Biden did I thought was okay, and Trump even floated when he was out there the first time, is your medical debt shouldn't count against your credit. It's a different world, right? It wasn't because you couldn't pay your car payment. It's because it cost $200,000 for, you know, you getting run over by somebody. So there's going to have to be some serious come to, because the problem is if we don't come up with a fix that has the capitalistic things that we enjoy, the system will eventually blow itself up. And then what do you have? Nothing but the socialized medicine, which, again, can be a nightmare. There's good and there's bad. But you want the waiting? And then you got to talk to the doctors, too. Everybody thinks, well, we'll go to that. You guys, I've played it before. I follow this guy, a Dr. Salary Doc, on TikTok, and I think he's on Instagram. And he goes through how much people make being a doctor. And comparatively to Europe, by the way, which is not a lot. They don't make a ton. They still make okay money. It's not like they're broke. But, you know, like you got dentists here. This guy works 32 hours a week, and he makes $485,000 a year. And he's out of dental school for 3 minutes. You know, they're not going to give that up. So you've got to find some happy medium in this world and address the issues that matter to the people. And that's what I care about. Again, I don't care about the team. I care about us. I don't care about the colors of the red and the blue. I care about the red, white, and blue, which is us. And there's going to have to be a fix. Because if your kid gets sick, you shouldn't have to file bankruptcy, sell your house, and live with your mom and dad again so you can take care of your kid. We're going to have to find a fix. And people need to start addressing it. And Republicans, you had a chance to do this in a way that hasn't been done and could shape generations, but also could just put the Democrats away. Time to take advantage of it. All right, coming up, One Hit Wonder Wednesday. Ken's got a very controversial one. Bell has one that I've heard other people do, but this is the original. And I have one that has a tie-in with a guy who sang about soda, was in a famous horror movie, but he was also a disco legend, apparently. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.
2:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We've got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Drivers, there's a disabled vehicle blocking the left lane of 40 eastbound near Stewart's Ferry Pike. Keep that in mind. Metro Police investigating a homicide in North Nashville. A 74-year-old woman identified as Harriet Edwards was found murdered inside her home on Chateau Valley Court. A friend discovered her body Monday morning after not hearing from her for several days. The medical examiner confirms Edwards was strangled and suffered blunt force trauma to the head. Detectives believe the murder happened Friday afternoon between 2:30 and 7:30. If you were in the Chateau Valley area then and saw anything suspicious, you were asked to call Crime Stoppers. An arrest for the Palisades fire in California. Jonathan Rinderknecht was arrested in Florida, but police say he used to live in Southern California. U.S. Attorney Bill Isaley said the suspect was working as an Uber driver when he set fire in the Pacific Palisades neighborhood, but was eventually put out by firefighters, but then smoldered for a week and then became the Palisades fire.
This is New Year's Eve, so it was around midnight, and he went up to this hilltop. And at some point up there, around 12 a.m., he ignited a fire.
8,000 structures destroyed, 12 people died. The arson charges mean the suspect could face up to 20 years in prison. And country music legend Dolly Parton's reassuring fans after rumors swirled about her health. In a video message released on her X account today, Dolly confirms she's being treated for kidney stones, but emphasized she's doing just fine.
I can always use the prayers for anything and everything, but I want you to know that I'm okay.
The concern started when her sister Frida asked for prayers on social media, prompting speculation online. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
So a chilly start on Friday, the afternoon with good sunshine. We're still in the 70s, back near 80 by the weekend.
Busy Bee has got some scary good deals. Did you guys like that? That was pretty good right there. No, Busy Bee's got some great stuff going on right now, including this amazing thing where you can get a free Beehive Club membership. Now, all you have to do is get a pumpkin, right? And you carve Buzz the Bee. Put it on social media, tag them, boom, there you go. That's a win for you. Top of that, they got great deals right now that are spooky, amazing. If you need a new HVAC system, they're ready to help you out. How about this? Free 10-year parts, 5-year labor warranty, $750 value with any complete system install. Now, if you got plumbing issues, they're going to flush your water heater with any plumbing repair, right? That's a treat that your pipes will absolutely love, love, love. And if you upgrade your thermostat, so you get a free dryer vent cleaning. So they're going to go and they're going to clean out, which is great because you don't want your house to catch fire. And many of you forget that there is a dryer vent that you have to clean and take care of, and it's good for the air that you breathe. Busy Bee's got you covered all spooky month long. Why don't you do this? Call them today, 775-7833, 775-7833, or visit them online at busybeehvac.com. Bulwark Capital wants to talk to you about giving you a second opinion on your investments, your retirement. It's free, right? They call it a risk review. So you can go to knowyourriskpodcast.com or call 866-779-RISK. They're doing extremely well. And the beauty of it is, and we've talked about this, AI is really the thing keeping the market rolling. And if you remove that or if it goes sideways, it could be a bubble that's burst. They want to show you that, man, maybe you're overextended. Maybe you don't understand that you can invest all over the globe. And that is what they want to show you what they're about. Lower risk, lower cost, lower volatility. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything but a little bit of time. It's a Know Your Risk review from my friends at Bulwark Capital. So why don't you do this? Go to knowyourriskpodcast.com, KNOW, yourriskpodcast.com to sign up for your Know Your Risk review from my friends at Bulwark Capital Management, investment advisory service officer through Trick Financial LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor. Investment for all risk, not a guarantee. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Check 25284. Somebody got when I teased who my one-hit wonder was. They got it. Somebody asked earlier, Chad, explain tariffs quickly. This is the way tariffs work. Countries don't pay that. When Trump touts, hey, tariffs are working. Look at all this money coming in here. It's great. And other countries are paying for it. No, they're not. We pay for it. So if you have a business, you're going to pay. So if they hit you with a 25% tariff, right, and you've got an order for $1 million, you got to pay $250,000. That's the tariff. The other country doesn't pay for it. We do. And that's the way that works. So, and they're going to rule on it, I think, next month, which would be interesting if they say he doesn't have, and the Supreme Court's looking at, he doesn't have the power to throw on tariffs, then he's going to pay that back. And he's trying to scramble and go, how do we not pay that back? How can we not pay that back? And so when you pay, so if you're an importer and you pay those tariffs, what happens? You pass it on to who? You don't just go, I'm going to eat that. That's going to be nice.
Yeah, it's sort of like corporate taxes.
Yes, exactly. Who do you think those get pushed onto? Just out of curiosity. Those get pushed onto you and I. Like when they raise that, when stuff costs more for the corporation, that means it costs more for us because they're going to try to keep it where it's at for them right now. All right, One Hit Wonder Wednesday. Each and every week we do this, One Hit Wonder. And somebody asked us earlier, boys, and I think we should. Next week, they said, why don't you guys are always doing contemporary music, you're always doing the Billboard and stuff. Why not do some country and Western?
Sure.
And I said, all right, we will do that next week. One Hit Wonder Wednesday will be country and Western.
I've already got mine picked out.
Yeah, I do too. I've got mine as well. So be prepared. It's going to be awesome. But this week, it's business as usual. You know how we do it. It is our 3 songs that we have chosen. They were stars for but a moment.
Now it's time for another edition of One Hit Wonder Wednesday. You may not remember the name of the band, but you definitely know the song. This is One Hit Wonder Wednesday.
We each got a hit. We're going to explain some of the cool things about the hit. The interesting thing about Bells is I've heard the song, just never by the guy that made the song famous. So let's do it, brother.
From 1974, number 1 for 1 week, Andy Kim and Rock Me Gently.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know he was the dude from the Archies.
Ah, that makes sense.
He's a singer of the Archies.
It's kind of an Archie sounding
He
song.
wrote Sugar, Sugar. So that's interesting. Very interesting. He had international with Baby I Love You, but Rock Me Gently was the hit. He's Canadian, you know? Did you know that there, Bell? You're bringing over a Canadian, eh?
The only Canadians that matter when it comes to rock music is Rush.
Oh, that's right. I heard they're going to go on tour.
Yeah.
What about Bryan Adams?
Nope.
First of all, Bryan Adams. Who is Bryan Adams or Rush? Celine Dion's bigger than both of them. Let's just be honest. She is. She is very much a treasure up there. But Rush,
Triumph.
Nah.
Can't forget. Their drummer, right? They have to hoist him in there because his little drums will go around in a circle. Triumph. What? Can you name another? What's
Fight
another
the
great?
good fight always, baby.
Bare Naked Ladies. They're Canadian, I think.
The Bare Naked Ladies.
Yeah, aren't they Canadian?
Yeah, but who cares?
All right, whatever, dude. I like this song though. Now I'm going to go home and listen to this song. I didn't even know that. I'd heard the "Rock Me Gently," but never. I thought it was other people that had sung it. Wow, that was at number one. I wonder what you do after that. He's still alive, by the way. Hanging out in Canada, in Montreal, eh? How's it going there, eh? Getting ready for the hockey season started last night, you know?
I guess you hopefully invest your money wisely and then keep counting it.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's in the Hit Parade Hall of Fame, eh? And he's also, very much part of the Canadian music superstar world there, eh? So there you go. Ken's got a very controversial one. I want you to explain it because I've had several people say it's this or it means this. It's interesting. There's no doubt. Take it away. No, you don't do. That's not.
Then he got famous for a song about two people cheating on each other.
Yeah, that's right. But hilariously, they were cheating on each other with each other. So there was that.
They didn't
irony.
know that though.
They didn't. There was that irony. I didn't know you were a tramp. Well, I didn't know you were a scumbag. Oh, it's great. Let's go celebrate pina coladas. Oh my Lord! My one-hit wonder, by the way, comes from a guy who got famous singing another song that never made it to the charts, but it made it into our hearts. Oh, yes. His name is David Naughton, and that's Naughton to sneeze at. He got picked to do a television show called Making It. It was the late 70s, and they thought they were going to be making it. They didn't make it, but the song did. 17 weeks on the chart. That was 12 weeks longer than the show lasted, which is pretty sad when you think about it. And he rocked and rolled it if you think disco's rock and roll. David went on from here to not do any more real music like that. That was just awesome. By the way, they said this was kind of the time capsule bye-bye of disco.
This does sound like television theme song direct though.
Yeah, that does, right?
Yeah.
It totally does. So, and the interesting thing is, a year after this, John Landis said, "Hey, I got a script for you. I want you to read, David." And he's like, "Okay." And he goes, "I saw you on a Dr. Pepper ad, and I thought you'd be kind of perfect for this." He went home, read the script, said, "Yeah, I'd like to do it." And he said, "Okay, you want to be a wolf man?" He said, "Yes." And he was the lead for The American Werewolf in London, and which is just an amazing, incredible movie. I love it.
That was a great read, but can you do it more like the Dr. Pepper
Like the
commercial?
Dr. Pepper guy. And so I do my countdown every year about the scariest movies, and we'll start ours here next week. But I did this one today, was The American Wolf of London, and I tied into One Hit Wonder. And he said, look, if it wasn't for the Dr. Pepper and these songs, I wouldn't have gotten that opportunity to do that. And, you know, the movie's great. And the thing I love about the movie is the special effects changed everything. Because you had Rick Baker, who ended up winning an Academy Award from it. It was the first time they gave out an Academy Award for makeup and effects. But the thing I loved about it, he said, playing that part, they wanted the wolf man, or the person who was becoming the wolf, the werewolf, to be in pain when he changed. And if you've seen the movie, and all of us have, even people who've never seen the movie, they know the part when he looks at his hand and his fingers stretch.
Yeah, that hurt.
Oh, God, yeah. Because he said, look, Lon Chaney Jr. sits in a chair, and then all of a sudden he becomes the wolf man.
Well, he just grew hair.
Yeah, that's it. He goes, that's not what would really happen. If you were going to become a wolf, a giant wolf, there's probably going to be pain involved.
Yeah, but don't be dissing Lon Chaney, man. He was pretty much of his, the effects were just as groundbreaking when he did them as when Baker did it.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, I'm not dissing Lon Chaney Jr. I'm not dissing that. I'm just saying, even after that, that's kind of the way it was. And Rick Baker's and John Landis said, no, we want it to be probably what it really was, which is super painful. So there you go, guys. The One Hit Wonder Wednesday. The controversy with Ken's is some people say Timothy was a mule. Other people say, no, that's a lie. It was a person. I don't know.
I want to go with it being a person.
We're going to go with it being a person because it makes it better for our show. Belle sent me this earlier, and I forgot to get to it. Belle sends me this. She says, dude, you got to check this out. Skid marks. And I'm not talking about a car. Yeah. But fossil skid marks. 126,000-year-old fossils show a mammal's unusual skid marks rubbing his butt. It was a Hyrax that did this, and the people that are the paleontologists and all that, they're super excited for the fact that they've got butt scrape on a rock.
So they're going to see what he ate.
I guess. I'm not quite sure how that works.
Probably going to be Timothy.
Yeah, the Hyrax, they said the region is renowned for rich paleontological sites and has yielded a lot of finds, but nothing as excited as butt scrape.
Goodness.
That's your job, and you paid a lot of money to get your degree, so be happy with it. Yeah.
That's only one step above being a paleontologist that investigates coprolites.
Yeah, that's it. The discovery of butt drag fossils adds a new layer to the rich history of butt dragging, apparently.
They need a proctologist.
They do. This person needed to have his glands fixed. All right, coming up, we got Matt coming in as we wrap up today's show. As we always say each and every day, we got a podcast. Make sure you check it out if you miss any of the show. This is the Chad Bench Show. Super Talk 997. Matt is here joining the program as we wrap it up on this Wednesday.
I think it's because I'm over 50 now.
Isn't that weird?
We're just continuing the conversation we were having before the
Matt
music
went in
started.
and did his physical, and they said that he had to take a whole bunch of shots.
Oh, no. They did not. They said they recommended them.
It is
Matt declined them.
so. Now the shingles.
I just want to learn more about that.
That's the you don't want to get the shingles. Everybody,
You do not want to get the shingles.
But
My
is-
grandmother had the shingles.
if
It was
it
bad.
is-
Brian Wilson had the shingles.
Oh, and it's
Bad.
weird too because you can get it in like your eye and I mean it's brutal.
Blindness.
Yeah.
Blindness for the eye.
That's if you've had
Chickenpox.
if you haven't had chickenpox.
Then you do not have the ability to get the shingles.
Yeah, I think
that's right.
Okay.
But if you've had the chickenpox, they're like, hey, you should probably get the shingles vaccine and yada, yada, yada. Do you want to do that today? And I'm like, yeah, I don't. No, I want to go do some research. And they look at you funny.
Yeah.
I mean, this is my doctor. And I like, for what it's worth. But I just, I'm like, I'm just going to go do my research. I might come back.
It's because you're 50, man. It's weird.
I might come back.
Right? Like you start getting those, those art magazines out of nowhere.
I've already
'cause
done the, have you done the colonoscopy?
No, it's been a while. So but they then they tell you come back every,
I have to do it again. I did mine a little early because I was having some digestive issues and I just wanted to make sure. And I'm a hypochondriac, so I start thinking about these things. I'm like, and I'm not afraid of all of that. So I think I was 40. I guess I was 47. No, I was 48. So a couple of years before the 50. Now it's 45, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, they say if you have colorectal cancer in your family. So I went in. It was a breeze. I mean, it was, the night before is obviously,
they buy you a drink, they take you out, they knock you out. Next thing you know, you wake up.
You
and
wake
you're in
up
love.
and you feel good and you feel gassy for some reason.
That's it. Yeah, the night before when you have to drink the stuff.
That's no fun.
No.
You sit on the commode. But, it wasn't that bad. But, yeah, I had one too many polyps. All of them were benign. But if you have no polyps or like 3 polyps, you don't have to come back for 10 years. But if you have 6 polyps like I had, you have to come back in 5 years.
Yeah, and it's and colon cancer. I mean in prostate cancer is like really slow.
Right.
Like you'll find some people. My friend's dad got it, and he's like, I'm like, what are you going to do? And he's like, they told me we're going to monitor it.
Yeah,
we'll come. We'll look at it in a year or so. There wasn't any rush to.
Right.
So it's an interesting thing. The shot thing, though, it's. Because you're over 50, I was saying, have you gotten to that point now when you're reading and they say 18 to 24, it used to be, I used to be in that group, and then I was in this group.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm at the group before the last group of where it just says 65 plus.
All right.
And you're like, oh my God.
Right. And, and you can do whatever you want to then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's the way I feel about it.
It's a free-for-all.
I told my doctor today that I'm starting to she said, I see that you once smoked. And I said, I did. I stopped in 2005. I smoked for 17 years, and I've now stopped for over the length of time that I actually smoked. And I said, but I plan on starting back. And she looked at me funny. I was like, yeah, I'll start back 70, 72. I feel like,
At that point in time, it doesn't
roll.
matter. Like,
Let's
if you
go,
want to have
baby.
a cirrhosis of the liver, let it go.
Let's roll. Let's go.
I'm not doing cocaine till the very end.
Right. And then I'm just blowing it out, baby.
What did you think of? I saw your tweet earlier about how close, the voting. He won. Mega Matt won, but in a decent amount. But the Democrat voting was close numbers wise.
Well, yeah, the numbers between the Democrats themselves, but Afton Bain wins that. What I thought was interesting is that if you total up all of their numbers and total up all of the Republican numbers, there's like a 5,000 vote difference. Which I think if people, if you support Republican values or if you consider yourself a conservative, this could be won by a Democrat. And I just want to make people aware of that. If you go into the week after, because this election is happening, I think the Tuesday after Thanksgiving.
After Thanksgiving, yeah.
So everyone's in holiday zone. They're in holiday mode. And if you're a Republican or a conservative and you think, this is a breeze, I can just stay home, you better make sure this guy is your guy. I think there's an independent in the race too. But make sure that Matt Van Epps represents your values, and you better go vote. Otherwise, Afton Bain could be the representative from the 7th Congressional District. I think this could happen easily.
Yeah, it could. Absolutely. And, the apathy, Oh, I forgot. It was Thanksgiving. The family was
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Then you wake up and you go, oh, it's Tuesday. You know, don't worry. He's going to win. This is a red state. He's going to win, no problem.
Remember the old Eddie Murphy bit? Is I voted for Jesse Jackson. I voted for Jesse. What? He won. What?
It's true, kids. You never know. You never know. Matt, straight ahead talking about shots in his colonoscopy. Have a good one, boys.
Hey!